Till now we have learned a lot of new things. Now we are moving to some advanced concept. This section is for functions. So functions are basically reusable block of statements. We can use them as many times as we want. We don't need to write same statements many times. We simply write one statement to call a function. So functions are of two types: built-in functions and user-defined functions. Built-in functions are those functions which are pre-created in libraries and we just use them to make our work easier. For example, the document.write, it is a built-in function. Its working and definition all are defined in a library. We just call them and make use of them. More examples are alert box, which is used to display some alert on the screen. Now it comes to user defined functions. They are those functions which are defined and created by user for their own use. That means we create or declare a function, we write its definition, we call them and we use them. So let's learn the syntax of a function definition. So it says we first have to write the keyword, that is function, and then we write function name, and after that we put parenthesis and then the curly brackets, and in between of the curly brackets we write statement 1 and then the statement 2 and so on. So these statements will be the statements that we want to use in future again and again. So we write those statements separate from the code and we use this block whenever we want to use these statements in our main script. So this is how we define a function. Now to call a function, it is quite simple. We just have to write the name and then parenthesis and a semicolon like this. If I want to call the function name, so I will simply write function underscore name, then curly bracket, then the parenthesis, and at the end I put a semicolon. So this will call this function and the statements inside this function will get executed here. So this is how we call a function in our script, and let's do a live example. So now we have the function and suppose its name is my name, and inside it I just write document.write, and in brackets I write my name is Peter. And at the end I just put a semicolon and I save this file. So I have created a function and its name is my name. I have defined its statement and I did not call it yet. Now if we see our output, just save the file and refresh the page. You can see we are getting a blank page or the blank white page, and we are not getting the document.write function which we wrote in function. This is because when we call a function, then only its statement will get executed. So let's call the function. So we just have to call the function. The function name is my name, so I write my name and then a semicolon and I save the file, and now save it and refresh the web page. You can see now I am getting the string on the screen. So this was a very basic function example, and to call a function after the script tag, then we have another method to call it in HTML that I will show you after this concept. So that concept says if as this calling is inside the script tag and you want to call this function in any HTML path, so that takes let's take another concept. So we'll just talk about them a little later. So now we saw a very simple function, and user defined functions can be of two types, and they are functions without arguments and function with arguments. The concept we just learned is an example of function without argument. That was a function which do not have any parameters passing through it. Now I will show you functions with arguments. So let's do an example first. Suppose I have a function, let's say its name is sum, and inside the parenthesis of sum function I have two arguments. Let's say I have a and b arguments, so I just separated using commas. Now inside of the function I declared another variable, that is result, and its value will be equals to the sum of a plus b. Okay, now from where comes the value of a and b? So a and b value we will send through the calling of the function to this function. So when we call the function, we just send the values of a and b through the calling, and the function definition will get the values of a and b. Then this a and b will be used to sum, and the result will be stored in the result variable. And then we just then we can get the output from this as well. So to get the output, I just have it right here, document dot write, then inside it I just write result, and then at the end a semicolon. Okay, now I have declared a function whose name is sum, and in its parenthesis there are two variables, variable a and variable b. They don't have any values right now. They will get their values from function calling. Now those two variables are known as arguments, and we use these arguments in function definition. Here we created another variable result which will have the summation of these two arguments. Then the document.write will show value of result on screen. Now when we call the function, we will pass two values as parameter to the calling function. In this case I have passed like I just write here sum, and then I just pass 10, 20 to function calling. And now when function is called, the flow will go to the function definition here, and where variable a will have value 10 because it's first here, and then first a will get the value 10 and variable b will get the value as 20. And now in the function definition, a and b will add up and the result will be printed on the screen. Okay, now let's save this file, and now let's run the program. Okay, you can see we are getting the summation. So this is the function with argument, and after this there is one more thing, that is value return. So I will tell you about this in the next video. Thanks for watching. I see you there.